Welcome back to Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, the Falcons podcast where we tell it like it is. No spin, no media talking points, just real fans breaking down everything that's going on here in Atlanta. I'm your host, Cowboy, man, and I got a lot to get into today on this one subject because the Falcons literally just dropped a bombshell on this fan base. If you haven't been following the news, Tua Tagovailoa in Atlanta in a Falcons uniform, I still don't know how to feel about that. And honestly, the signing itself isn't even the most interesting part of this story. The most interesting part is what this means for Michael Penix Jr. Because if you're being real about it, his window in Atlanta just might be already closing. Why? Because two things we already know for sure. Tua is on a one-year prove-it deal, and Michael Penix Jr. is a product of the previous regime. And if we're going to keep being completely honest about this one or both of these quarterbacks is on borrowed time. So Michael Penix was supposed to be the answer. The Falcons drafted him 8th overall last year. 8. That's a franchise quarterback pick. That's where building around that type of money. And now, less than a year later, the Atlanta Falcons just went out and signed Tua Tagovailoa. So I need somebody to explain to me what exactly is Penix still doing here. Because from where I'm standing, his career in Atlanta just might be already over before it even get really started. All right, real quick, before anyone who have already missed it, the Dolphins released Tua Tagovailoa. I still got to get used to saying this guy's name, man. But Miami paid this man $100 million to just walk out the door. Think about that. $100 million. And the Falcons swooped in and signed him. Now, look, Tua is coming off a concussion history that will make any fan nervous. He missed time. He had some scary moments. But here's the thing. The dude went out there against the Falcons in Miami last season, well, here in Georgia, rather, and torched us like he was auditioning for the job. And somebody in Atlanta was clearly watching. So new head coach Kevin Stefanski, new general manager Ian Cunningham, the new regime with Matt Ryan, these guys have zero loyalty to Michael Penix Jr. They didn't just draft him. They didn't pick him. And that changes everything. No, forget about that. I'm not trying to bury Michael Penix, not by a long shot. I want to defend Michael Penix. For those of you who saw my video on him, know that I am Team Penix. I really like the young guy coming in, setting his foot, grabbing his team, grabbing it by the reins, and taking us to the Super Bowl and beyond. Because this ain't just a friendly competition that, bringing Tua in here. It got hard for him, but it's a friendly competition. The Falcons went and got somebody. That should tell you something. So here's what we're doing today. We're going to break down exactly why this signing might spell the end for Penix in Atlanta. Then we're going to give Penix his fair shot because real ones don't just throw a guy under the bus without the full argument. And then we're going to make you give your take, our honest perception of what you think about it, right? But our perception, our no BS, diehard Falcons take on the whole week and what this means for the future of this franchise. If y'all ready, let's go ahead and get into it. So here's why I think Penix is cooked in Atlanta. And y'all might not like this. Number one, the new regime has no skin in the game on him. When Terry Fontenot drafted Penix, that was Fontenot's pick, his legacy. But Fontenot is gone. The new front office don't owe Penix nothing. They don't have to protect his decision. They don't have to protect his legacy. They don't have to protect nothing. So if Tua comes in, wins the job, and the Falcons go 10-7, they look like geniuses. And if Penix becomes a trade piece. Number two, Tua already knows the system from familiarity. He ran McDaniel's scheme in Miami for years. Stefanski's offense, very similar concepts. Route combos, quick reads, space. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier in another video where we need to find receivers that not only takes the top off the defenses, but can run crisp routes and get open. Tua could walk into Atlanta's playbook and be dangerous by week one. Penix is still learning. And in the NFL, learning costs you. Number 3, the Falcons window is right now. If you haven't paid attention to the free agency, yes, we have a bunch of 1-year deals in here, but these are guys that can actually turn these 1-year deals into future extensions. Bijan Robinson is in his prime. Drake London is in his prime. Kyle Pitts, when healthy, is a mismatch nightmare. This team is not in rebuild mode. They cannot afford to wait on a rookie-ish quarterback to figure it out. Tua gives them a shot to compete today. And look, I've seen people compare this to Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love in Green Bay. But like Tua is just here to mentor Penix and hand him the keys. Man, please. Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. They owed him that runway. Tua didn't owe Penix nothing. If Tua is healthy and balling, he's starting, period. Now, hold on before y'all come at me. I hear you. This is a world where Penix wins the job. And I'm going to give him his fair shot. But here's the thing about that world. It's a lot smaller than it was 48 hours ago. So stay with me on this. So here's where the case for Penix becomes, and I want to be real and frank. Penix is younger, cheaper, and has upside. Tua doesn't. Penix is a first-round talent who hasn't had a real shot yet. His arm is a cannon, and everybody knows that. The league knows that. He can extend plays. He can make throws Tua physically cannot make. And if he gets a full training camp and the starting reps, he might just outperform Tua straight up. Tua's injury history is real. We're not going to just sit here and pretend the concussion concerns don't exist. If Tua gets hurt and he has got like he has gotten before, Penix is right here. And at that point, the Falcons are glad they have him. That's the safety net argument. And it's a valid argument. 3, competition makes both players better. I said it in the last episode. I'll say it again. There is nothing wrong with Penix having to earn this. A quarterback who wins a training camp battle is more prepared than one who gets handed the keys. If Penix is really the franchise guy, prove it. Show up to camp, take that job, orchestrate your team, take your stand, and come in firing on all cylinders. Nobody's going to hand you anything in the NFL. So, could Penix win this starting job? It's possible. But here's my honest take. The odds just got a lot worse. And there's one more thing. Nobody is really talking about yet one scenario that could make this whole situation get real ugly real fast. So I hope you guys are ready, right? Here's what I think is actually happening behind the scenes. The Falcons are treating Penix like an asset, not a franchise cornerstone. Think about it. If Tua comes in and plays well, what do you do with Penix? You trade him. You've got a first-round quarterback on a rookie deal. Teams will eat that up. They will love it. You can get a first-round pick back. You flip a question mark at quarterback into draft capital. Teams that are experimenting with quarterbacks like we are, they would jump all over Penix just because of his arm. And that's not necessarily a bad deal for the Falcons, but it tells you everything about where Penix sits in the pecking order. He's not the guy. At least he's not being handed the keys. He might become a guy somewhere else, but in Atlanta right now, he is leverage. He is competition. He is a backup plan. Now, me personally, I want Penix to win this battle. There's nothing like having a young guy come in to run the table with more young guys, other young guys. I want him to show up to training camp with something to prove and take that starting job. Because if he does that, and if a guy who has basically told you're not the starter comes back and he earns it, that's exactly the kind of quarterback you want leading the Falcons. Hungry, competitive, has something to prove, has a chip on his shoulder to shut up the naysayers. But the Falcons didn't bring in Tua to hand him a clipboard. They brought him in to start. And until somebody shows him different, Tua is quarterback one. All right, so here's where we land and answer the question. Is Michael Penix's career in Atlanta already over? Not yet, not quite. But that clock is ticking, and the hand is moving fast. Tua signing with Atlanta isn't just a death move. It's not a healthy competition situation. The Falcons used real money, real commitment to bring in a guy with starting experience, even though the money was minimal. The fact that they have used real money to go grab somebody. That's a message. Whether Ian Cunningham and Kevin Stefanski says it out loud or not, that's the message. Michael Penix Jr. is a talented quarterback, very talented. We're not disputing that. But talented quarterbacks get pushed out the organizations all the time when the front office sees and gets impatient. And right now, Atlanta's patience has a price tag on it. And look, we could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe Penix goes in the camp and absolutely torches it, is what I'm betting. But maybe Tua gets hurt again, God forbid, and Penix steps up and proves everybody wrong. That story exists. We've seen it before. But we're not betting on maybe. We're betting on what the Falcons showed us. And what they showed us is that Penix is not their answer right now. So here's my prediction. Tua starts week 1. Penix is the backup. And by the trade deadline, if the Falcons are struggling, Penix gets moved for assets. That's the path I see right now. Bottom line, Tua is quarterback 1 until he's not. And if Penix wants his job, he's got to come into camp and do just what I just said. He has to torch it. He got to take it. Nobody's going to hand him anything, rise up, or ride the bench. But hey, that's just me. And that's what makes this fan base special. Y'all don't hold back. So I want to hear from you guys. Are the Falcons making a mistake by bringing in Tua? Is Penix going to come in and take that job? I want you guys to drop your comments in the comment section right now. I read every single comment and I answer every one of them. So are you ride or die Penix, or are you team Tua all day? I already know most of you guys' answers, and I already know that this comment section is about to go crazy of the things I've already said. But guys, that's all I have for today. Next week, we're going to go deeper and dive into this quarterback competition. And stay tuned for the video on the move and the trade that we just went to Philadelphia and grabbed Sidney Brown, safety Sidney Brown. And we wonder now, what does this mean for the safety room, Jesse Bates in particular? Okay? And then we're going to go talking about the draft and Atlanta's commitment to Tua and Penix. Or do we swing on a receiver? Right now, we can go anywhere, go offensive line. But the fact that we brought in another quarterback, a potential starting quarterback, playoff experienced quarterback, is telling at the least. But real quick, before you guys go, if you're new here, this is Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, where we bring you all the Falcons updates and reactions for fans to interact with you every week. So do us a solid, hit that like button. It literally takes 2 seconds, and it helps us move more Falcon fans into this community. And that's how we grow. So if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? But seriously, hit that subscribe button. We drop new episodes every week, and we're not letting up. Draft season and free agency, training camp, we're covering it all. And tap that notification bell too, so that you never miss the drop. Because trust me, with everything happening in Atlanta right now, you don't want to be late for any of these conversations. Until next time, Fandemic family, as always, rise up. We're not just fans. We're the loudest fans. Peace. Rise up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your boy E-Man. Falcons Fandemic, we on that plan. All the hype in the city, let me break it down. Atlanta Falcons, wear the crown.